We're back home.
Our other home.
Our other home. Our home that we were here for about, what?
2 years.
2 years?
Yep.
Yeah, we loved it here. And this is new to us though. When we lived here.
This didn't exist when we were here.
Yeah.
So shout out to the Bowling Factory and Randy.
All the staff is amazing here, by the way. If you're ever in town, definitely stop by this bowling center, Southern and the Bowling Factory. Check it out. Everyone here is amazing. That's why we come back.
So yeah, I have no words because they're just always so awesome to us. So we are here in the beautiful Bowling Factory, and today we are going to be testing out every single lane surface that they have here. They have 3 different lane surfaces. We have myself, you, and AJ here. We are going to give you guys an inside look of what each lane surface does differently.
So if you don't already know, every time you bowl on any lane across the country or the world, they're all different. But knowing the lane surface is super important in order to know what balls to pack. So just knowing what you're bowling on, what oil you're bowling on can be a big determination on what you're gonna bring with you in your arsenal. We're gonna break it down for you today and show you a little bit of the differences between each one.
Yep, enough talking, let's get to lanes.
There's the man.
We have Anvil Lane on 33 and 34. We have Pro Anvil, which is the latest version of the Brunswick Lane. Their Pro Anvil is on 35 and 26, and AMF HPL are on 37 and 38.
Okay, is the HPLs a newer type?
Performance laminate. It's their high-end.
Okay.
High-end laminate line.
That's awesome. So I noticed that you have twister pins in the middle.
I just have a mixture.
Oh no, that's fine.
Have a little bit of everything.
I just wanted to know what was on the other ones.
They're Brunswick crowns.
Okay.
Just regular crown.
You heard it from the man himself. So, well, again, we thank you so much for letting us come
Appreciate
here.
you guys coming out. That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
Awesome.
We appreciate it.
More better people to hang out with. Come on.
Oh yeah, we got him.
He died. He just
if you guys didn't know what AJ. The first thing we're gonna show you guys before we get on the lanes. This is Pro Anvil Lane, and you will always be able to tell, and I'm gonna show you the easiest way you're gonna be able to tell is down here. Let's go down here. This is the easiest way to know if you're bowling on Pro Anvil Lane is these rangefinders down here. Now these rangefinders are on 10 and 15 that they line up with the arrows. And those are gonna be really helpful when you're trying to figure out your break point down lane and what you're actually trying to do to create ball shape. So I definitely do like bowling on this lane surface because those markers do help a lot. So again, that's gonna be your first indication of if you're bowling on Pro Anvil Lane. And as you can see, the other 2 lane surfaces do not have that. So now you know. We forgot to mention, we are just bowling on the CP3 house shot pattern here. What I tend to notice on this lane surface is my ball really gets through the mid lane. So I definitely get a little bit more hold through the front part of the lane. So I have to make sure I get my ball reading early and make sure that I'm in the friction, the right part of the lane for me, or else my ball will not make the corner at that 10 rangefinder down lane.
All right, haven't thrown a shot in a while, so this one's gonna be fun. Oh, that would have been great to start off the video. For myself, I really like this lane surface. I really have a forward ball roll, and what this surface allows me to do is to maximize that because it's very clean through the front part of the lane. So I can roll the ball, no problem, and the ball's not gonna lose energy as fast. On the flip side of it, I also really like HPLs because it gets my ball to slow down and I can throw it as hard as I want. So I kind of love both of them. It just really depends on what we're bowling on and all other good stuff. And also twister pins, I do usually like, but not right now because I missed the messenger. So we're gonna fix that.
Yeah, that wasn't the best shot, but it held. So my take on this lane surface is it's a little slicker in the middle part of the lane, so I think it'll allow you to get away with a little bit of a push, or excuse me, a bit of a pull if you tug it. Or this is a shot where you need to be a little softer off your hand and float it through the middle. Don't throw it 100 like I just did, unless you're just on the left side, then you can get away with anything, right? That's what everybody says, right? The left is easy. So, you know. But yeah, so that's my take on it, and yeah, let's throw some more shots.
So obviously I'm going to stand in the same spot so I can give it a fair trial against the other surface. Okay, I tugged that. So, not a good shot, but I highly believe if I do that on 35, it holds. I'm not gonna 3, 6, 9, 10. Probably still 4 pin, maybe 4, 9, but I definitely would have probably had a little bit more hold. But we're gonna do the same thing. What I'm gonna do to show you guys the surface, I'm gonna send it super far right, and you should see it hook a lot more versus when I was over there on 36. When I'm bowling on the surface, I need to create more angle in the front or my ball will read too soon. Yeah. My ball does lose more energy faster because I do have to create those larger launch angles, which gets me into the friction a lot sooner. So this ball I typically would not throw on this lane surface because it's gonna read way too early. I'm not gonna have enough energy when it gets to the break point to the friction because I have to send it there quicker. So I would throw more of a pearl ball to save that energy on this lane surface. So I'm gonna do that same thing again. I'm gonna create that launch angle, but I'm gonna throw a weaker ball that's gonna save a little bit more energy for you. So we're going from a symmetric to another symmetric, but that is a solid and this is a hybrid. So this will save a little bit more energy down lane, but I still need to create that same angle or else my ball is still gonna read a little bit early on this lane surface. There we go. As you can see, it picked up right before the rangefinders, and that's what you have to do, the rangefinders, which would be 10 down lane. I still see those in my head. I'm just used to bowling on surfaces like that. But right around 10 out there, I got it right of it. It picked up a little bit before where that other rangefinder would be. Whereas on that other surface, I have to hit right at that rangefinder. I can't have it pick up before or it's never gonna see the lane. So as you can see, same shot. I'm gonna show you guys another example. I'm gonna throw the GB5 again, just to show you where I'm gonna throw that same shot and it's probably still gonna burn up. As you can see, very lazy. It still did get it, but it definitely wasn't as great a ball reaction as the Sublime where it actually dug through the 8-9. This is where knowing your arsenal, what works on each surface is important. Although I struck, my bad shots might not strike as much because I don't have that wider pocket down lane that allows my ball to go through the pins correctly. Another thing to note that we didn't talk about is we're not just talking about the lane. You also have to realize that all these surfaces are also going to be different for your slide. So as we talked about in our slide video, having those interchangeable soles where you can slide on each surface, some are a little bit more slippery and some are a little bit more tacky. So knowing that also helps you when you're preparing for a tournament.
All right, so Elise did a really good job at going in depth. For me, since it's her tour, I don't have all my bowling balls, so I'm stuck with a couple. So I'm gonna just stand in the same exact spot as what I did on the lane prior, and I would imagine that this one's gonna pick up a pinch sooner and go through the pins a little bit better. As you can see, we sent a log. Didn't need it, obviously, but it struck as opposed to when we were over there. It didn't because the ball went a little bit farther. It came behind the head pin and it didn't connect in order to get that messenger. So good shot. We'll throw another one just to see. So even though it came in light, it still really wants to dig in that front part of the lane as opposed to when we were on the Pro-Am lane. It was a lot cleaner through the front part of the lane, more shape. This one to me is starting to pick up sooner, still has shape, but it's starting to read front to back quicker. This is Amble lane, not Pro-Am lane. It's the first generation. So we'll throw one more. Comes around the corner. Obviously, I gave it a little more business at the bottom with my hand, but because of the older generation, the front part of the lane does like to pick up more. So I could hit it and know that it's gonna pick up no matter what and go through the pins. And as you saw, it went through the pins beautifully. Enough of me talking. You're gonna watch AJ strike.
Okay, well, as you can see from that video, I threw that one a lot better than I did the one over here. But my take on that surface definitely picks up in the mids a little more for me and allows my ball to pick up and actually start turning where I wanted to. I had to choose between this one and the one that I just bowled on. I think I'm gonna go with this one, but we're gonna make a move, try a different ball and throw another shot and see if we can get the same result.
There it is.
So that was a 5-board move to the right, and I went to a solid, the GB5, and that's about what I expected, to be a little slower and not quite as snappy on the back end. Honestly, to me, this seems like a pretty versatile lane surface. Looks like you can, move left, move right, throw shiny, throw solids. And it looks like you can get away with almost anything. Again, I'm a left-hander, so, you know, we get away with everything. That's probably what I'm just going to keep saying because that's just what I do.
I'm learning how to play Minecraft right now, okay?
Oh, my fault.
We're going to blow up everything.
I can't blow up my house either. I just blew up my house. That was so small, nature to watch.
So typically, these HPLs are going to be your highest friction lane surface, besides wood, Guardian, obviously your old surfaces, your beat up surfaces that you might see, but you don't see those as much. But this is going to be the highest friction that you will see of new generation synthetics. So we're just going to throw the GB5. Not too bad. I really think if I got it further right into the friction, it's gonna die a little bit. It's not gonna save the energy I want. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna try to throw it a little bit further in the friction with steeper launch angles and see if I can still get that nice arc into the pocket. So as you can see right there, it still got there, but because I had more angle and my ball had to cross over more boards, I just didn't have the energy down lane that I would have had on the older Pro-Am lane. And that's just because this surface, my ball is reading so early. I do let the ball go pretty early in the front. I could loft a little bit, so that's the thing. For me, bowling on these different surfaces is really what trick can I do to get my ball to read at the right point. So on this surface, I would probably have to loft it a little bit more than my typical A game, just so that way my ball will still read in the correct spot and go through the pins properly. So now we're gonna throw the Sublime, do the same thing and see if I get a better reaction. Now moving left on a high friction surface is not always the best because the more boards you have to cover, the more you could be taking away from your carry. So as you always hear on TV, straighter is greater. Even if you're far left and there's a lot of friction to the right, when you see the guys on tour, even when they're super far left and in the left gutter, you don't see them trying to create steep angles all the time. It's because when you get into the friction, you're still creating smaller angles to the pocket, even from left with higher friction, just like on a short pattern, how you'd be standing further right and not having a lot of angle away from the pocket. Because when you have friction down lane or when your ball reads front to back more, you are going to lose more carry because your ball has to find the right spot to save energy at some part of the lane, especially when you're playing the lanes front to back.
So this is obviously a newer version of HPLs. This isn't what we normally accustomed to. So we're just gonna see what happens, honestly. Didn't really throw a lot of shots on this lane. So we'll just see what the eye tells us. So what I see, it's not as early as the original Am lane that we were bowling on. It seems to get through the front part of the lane easier than when we were on 33 and 34. And it still shapes just as much as 35 and 36. So right now I feel like I got a nice blend of both. A little bit slower response off the back end than 35 and 36, but not as early as 33 and 34. I really like that shot. That was a really good shot, and probably haven't thrown a good one like that in quite some time. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing, and this is such a big eye-opener, especially with bowling on this newer version of HPLs. And hopefully this is an eye-opener for all of you guys, seeing the different types of ball motion that we're going through. It's just, it's pretty crazy just to experience on your own. So we'll throw one more, and then we'll let AJ bowl. I'm gonna do the same thing as I did the last shot over there. I'm gonna move another 3 or 4 to the left, slow down just a pinch, and give it more business at the bottom. And we send pins everywhere. All right.
Oh. All right. That was not a good shot. I almost fell. So we're going to give that another try. My take on that one pushed a lot more than what I've seen so far out of the first 2 surfaces we bowled on. I think I'm gonna go to a solid. I'm gonna move left and play it a little slower and see if we can get it to see it a little quicker and actually go through the pins a little more. That was not a great shot. I think I threw that a little too hard. So we're gonna give it one more try and actually try to slow it down. Yeah. Okay, so that shot was obviously, as you can tell by the audience back here, was much better than the previous two.
He posted it.
I posted it. You heard the man right there. This surface to me does not hook as much as the other two we have played on. If I were to bowl in this for a whole tournament, I would probably put some tags on my shoes and say, slow your feet down. Otherwise, I'm gonna 3-9 every shot. So yeah.
I hope this video gave you a little insight to something that can help take your game to the next level. Now, the easiest thing you can do is always just call a center and ask them what surface that you're bowling on for a tournament that you're going to. All you have to do if you want to find this out is call the center. If the front desk doesn't know, just ask for the mechanic. The mechanic should know. And if not, you can always look up pictures online. And like I said, you can kind of see the difference in colors between the surfaces and be able to make a good judgment on what surface you are bowling on. And as you can see, it makes a huge difference on what balls, what speeds, what everything you're gonna need to actually be successful when you're going to bowl on these different surfaces. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning in and making all this possible. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here to be able to give you this information and be able to travel and show you all the cool places around the world that loves bowling just as much as we do and you. So thank you again. We'll see you guys on the next video.